Shomolungma Sagarmatha, Holy Mother of the Sky. For the Sherpa people, the highest summits of the Himalayas have always been the realm of the gods. In 1953, Sherpa Tenzing Norgay committed the first sacrilege with Edmund Hillary by daring to ascend the summit of Everest. 25 years later, Pierre Mazot, Nicolas Jaeger, and I offend the gods in turn as the first Frenchmen to reach the top of the world. There can be no doubt that it is thanks to Tenzing that I realized my dream of touching the sky. I've often been around Sherpas, but I'd never really interested myself in the destinies of the men who contributed so much to the success of my climbs. This time, I decided to seek them out and follow in the path they had taken in becoming the true heroes of Mount Everest. Starting in Siliguri, I'll follow the path of Tenzing Norgay as he went in search of work in Darjeeling, like so many other Sherpas. Next, I'll follow the route that leads into the Indo-Nepalese frontier, crossing the hot plains of Terai to Jankapur and then the capital of Nepal. From Kathmandu, I'll fly to Lukla to follow in the steps of Tenzing right up to the foot of Mount Everest. Siliguri, 10 o'clock in the morning. The departure for Darjeeling is imminent. At a time when the ruling English in India were fleeing the heat of Calcutta, the lack of land suitable for cultivation in their territory forced many Sherpa families to leave their Himalayan valley. Like them, I climb on a train that will lead from the humid plains of Bengal to the cool, fresh foothills of the Himalayas. At the start of the 20th century, Nepal was a land forbidden to foreigners. The British launched their first reconnaissance expeditions to the roof of the world by coming from Tibet. Thanks to this small train, they were able to bring supplies up to Darjeeling at an elevation of 2,000 meters. I wind along the Tenzing Highway, named in honor of my hero of Everest. The spectacle here is as surprising to me as it must have been for the Sherpas. Breeders, farmers, or traders, they came here attracted by the economic development of the region and by the climate so much like that of their valley in Nepal. Darjeeling sprawls up into the heights. The city is sometimes gray under its sheet metal shell, undulating beneath tendrils of smoke that seem to be clinging to the bleachers of an enormous amphitheater. Curious about this strange mansion, I learned that it is the summer palace of Maharaja Kumar of Burdwan. I realize I want to meet this man.
We have been Maharajas for the last 16 generations. It's all history now. But we live in Darjeeling. Darjeeling was a part of that place. Out of the 4,100 square miles, a whole lot of areas in Darjeeling was also a part of the estate, which all went to the government in 1955 with the nationalization of land.
To my great surprise, the Maharaja actually knew Tenzing.
This is my father, and Tenzing Norgay, seeing him off from the Mountaineering Institute. Tenzing Norgay and his family we have known since I was a baby, when he was not even a famous man. I mean, he used to come here, we used to meet each other very frequently. He was a very wonderful person he was, very gentle, very kind. To have known the person personally and had known him so well, so intimately. And a person who achieved that sort of greatness is unforgettable.
As if by magic, the curtain of clouds breaks apart to reveal to me the third highest summit on the planet, Kanchenjunga. I can understand why the British, bewitched by these mountains, were so anxious to go further. They made their first attempts at the roof of the world with the help of Tenzing and many others employed as simple porters. But despite the help of the Sherpas, who became veritable mountaineers, the British would never get to the summit of Everest from the Tibetan slopes. Today, the majority of the 100,000 inhabitants of Darjeeling are of Nepalese origin, although they all speak the Bengali language. I study the men and women here, and some are probably descendants of the Sherpas of Khumbu in the Everest Massif. In the image of this Hindu migrant, I continue my quest. But I'm not asking for alms. I just want to find someone who can tell me about Tenzing Norgay. It seemed like a simple task. Since Tenzing's death in 1986, his house has been occupied by his son, who has tried to maintain the color of the Himalayan snow so often trod by his father. But Tenzing Norgay is off on an expedition. The grandson, Tashi, lives in Australia. They tell me that the Sherpas are holding a reunion at a festival in town. Maybe I'll be lucky enough to meet someone who was close to Tenzing. The governor of Bengal honors the cultural richness of the different populations living in Darjeeling.
Wish them every success in their efforts to bring about a suitable and acceptable solution.
I am drawn to the mountain climbing equipment displayed like sacred objects in the space reserved for the Sherpas. The relics belong to a small man wearing a tweed cap. Nawang Gambu is a member of Tenzing Norgay's family, the Tenzing clan. Nawang was the first man to climb to the summit 2 times. Those who have had high-altitude experiences often feel a connection, and he immediately invites me to his home.
I took 3 months.
At a young age, Nawang Gambu dreamt of conquering the highest summits.
Sit down, very comfortable there. Okay, good. Come sit down there. Tenzing is my uncle, my mother's brother, you know. And then he said that he is going to Everest expedition, and he hiring Sherpa from Darjeeling. And I almost the first time, you see. Before that, I never been to higher mountain. And I said, please, I like to go to Everest with you. And he said, Gombu, you are young, you know. I'm 17 years old. And he said, I'll try my best to work hard. And then I went to expedition. And then I went to South called 2 times, no oxygen. Carried 60-pound load. And that was my first expedition.
He really opened the route, Tenzing.
Yeah.
I think without him, we're not at the top.
Yes. He was very strong, no doubt. I know him very well. You know. Oh, Tenzing, oh, yes.
In Chamonix.
Yeah, Chamonix, huh? Long time ago, huh?
First, my impression was we are very fortunate, good weather. I've been many times.
I've been many times.
He should say, this is my 7th time. No? He said many times, maybe more than. And after he climbed Everest, the whole world knows that is First, nobody knows the Sherpa, after Tenzing say, I'm Tenzing Sherpa, He lives in Darjeeling in India, and then he climbed his big publicity and everybody respect, especially in Nepal. They think like he's a god, because 60, 70 years ago, nobody thought the Everest will climb by a human being. Which place you climb from, South Col or West Ridge?
South Col.
South Col, this
yeah.
route, same route, huh?
Yeah, South
The same
Col.
route, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But your camp is here, huh?
Yeah, we had to camp here.
You came here and climb and then come down, huh?
And you were twice?
I've been twice. This is 63 and 65 with the Indian team. Indian expedition, 65, yes.
And at the top also?
Yeah, top, yes.
And how was the weather?
Weather 1963 was not so good and 65 was good. I reached the summit 9:30 in the morning.
Twice at the top?
Long time ago. You've been the top too. You on the top of this
Yeah,
mountain.
but you twice.
Come and sit down. There's a coffee. This is 1963. President Kennedy, This is me and the Kennedy.
No.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, the same photo.
It's you?
There, yeah.
You?
Yes. Very young. And Tenzing, of course. And after the picture, oh yes, here's a Tenzing picture here. The Himalayan Tiger Medal. This was I got 1953. My number is 191. And those who are Sherpas have done very good job in the mountain. And after the British Alpine Club decided to we give some award.
But you think that you are a tiger?
At that time, no now. National Geography Medal, American President Kennedy gave it to us, This is and the White House, that also, 63.
I've shared a truly special day here with Nawang, one of the tigers of the Himalaya. But it can't last forever, and the flame that has revived so many memories recedes once again as the night begins to blanket Darjeeling. To me, this city is the home of its most famous citizen, Tenzing Norgay. But to the rest of the world, it is known for a certain popular hot beverage, the famous Darjeeling tea.
In Darjeeling, we have actually 4 different types of tea we have. Like one is called black tea, one is called green tea, one is called oolong tea, and one is called white tea. Black tea is the most famous tea from Darjeeling. This tea is the full fermented and very nice color and very good aroma. This is called black tea. If you want to think like this way, first then drink it. You can feel the aroma like that. You can see the white tea. This is a tea like only just the tips one. This is only just tips one. Only just sun dry and totally hand roll of this tea.
I admit that it's not often I finish the day with a cup of tea, and I hope that this relatively unfamiliar drink won't disturb my sleep on my last night in Darjeeling.